Sayaki, otherwise known as spiritual energy, one of the three categories of Raki that can be utilized once somebody achieves their Raki awakening. Sayaki abilities are abilities and powers that are tied to the in-between or the spiritual realm. This spiritual realm, or in my world it's known as the in-between, is essentially the source of Sayaki spiritual abilities. This is a realm where the laws of reality itself doesn't work the same, but in more ways than one, it's very specifically tied to our world as we know it, and the energy from this realm is essentially the building blocks of many things, including Sayaki. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another video where I explain cool things about my power system as I build it, and just get a little bit of world building going on too. And if you're watching this, I just want to say thanks. We're currently sitting at 322 subs as I'm making this, so if you enjoy these videos, throw your boy a sub, maybe a like, and leave a comment. It goes a long way for me, truly. I appreciate it a lot. But anyways, boom, Sayaki. I want to talk a little bit more about how Sayaki spiritual abilities work within my world and my power system in general. So I want to start with, how do you even acquire Sayaki based abilities? And well, there are actually 3 different ways you can gain Sayaki abilities. There's A, the route you're probably most familiar with if you watched my other videos. If you haven't, go watch them please, they're pretty cool. There's Raki Awakening. Then there's B, gaining a Sayaki based ability through your bloodline, which I'll go a little more in depth in that later. And then there's C, which is also the strongest way to gain a Sayaki based ability, is through a Sayaki pact. Think of a Sayaki pact essentially as a binding vow or an end contract. Shout out to this comment, by the way. So within that spiritual world that I was talking about earlier, you probably already guessed that all sorts of spirits themselves reside within that realm. And while it is very rare within this world, it has happened. At rare moments of time throughout history, the wall between the spirit realm and our normal realm has been very thin enough to allow beings who are skilled enough and intelligent enough get through. And depending on how strong they are, these beings are able to make Sayaki pacts with people. A Sayaki pact is essentially a spiritual agreement between the spirit and the person. They come up with the terms, they come up with the consequences, and it's up to them to uphold it. For example, this is Valet Mizuki. This young man is a descendant of a family that's been around for generations upon generations, the Mizuki family. The Mizuki family is infamously known in the underground world, as well as those who have very strong connections in high up places. So essentially, if it's somebody of power, they most likely know about the Mizuki family. They typically stick to the shadows and operate at nighttime because they have a huge family secret that they don't want to get out. A few hundred years ago, a young man with no Raki abilities to speak of was at the right place at the right time and came into contact with a very powerful and intelligent spirit. Being very desperate for power, not having abilities of his own, the young man reached to the spirit for help. They formed a Sayaki pact. This pact made it so this young man will retain his youth for years and years and years to come. On top of that, he was introduced to power he couldn't even fathom. As an added bonus, for years to come, his descendants and people who have his blood within their veins, although never as strong, they will get variations of his power that he holds, ensuring that his bloodline will be a very strong one for as long as they live. However, the Sayaki pact also came with many downsides that he was willing to ignore because of his greed for power. 1. For as long as he lives, his youthfulness and his soul belongs to him. But the moment this young man dies, his soul will eternally belong to that spirit. He will live as a slave in the spirit realm, never passing on into a proper afterlife. 2. As long as one of his descendants has at least 10% of his blood, the conditions of their pact will apply to them as well. And 3, again, if the descendant has 10% or more of his blood, then that descendant will never awaken a Raki ability. this one man used a Sayaki pact to essentially create a bloodline of Rocky abilities. Now let's take a look at another character that I've been working on that is going to have Sayaki based abilities as well. For now, we're just going to call her Cat. This name will most likely be changed later on. This is just kind of like a placeholder name because I can't think of anything else right now. Also, 10 points to anybody that can tell me who they think this character might be based off of in real life. I'll give you a hint. It's a music artist, one of my favorites actually, probably in like my top 5. Now then, this is Cat. I haven't fully cooked up her backstory yet, but she has a Sayaki ability that was gained through a Rocky awakening. Now, when somebody awakens into a Sayaki-based Rocky ability, they automatically become more proficient in Sayaki-related things, obviously. And in this case, with Kat, awakening a Sayaki-based ability allowed her to, 1, see spirits with the untrained eye, which isn't the biggest feat, but for most people it requires a lot of training and focus in order to do something like that. Whereas Kat, because she awakened this Sayaki ability, it made her more proficient in certain areas, and that is one of the areas. 2, she's now able to, although it's not perfectly, see somebody's soul. Your soul is essentially your spirit, and it's tied to the spirit world. So with her being able to see spirits, she can now see your soul. That doesn't mean she can just interact with your soul though. She can't alter it, she can't manipulate it, she can just see it. Being able to manipulate and mess with somebody's soul is a feat reserved for the highest of the high, essentially. So take that spirit we talked about earlier that essentially made the pact with that human to give him so much power. That is not a normal spirit. That's a spirit that's leagues and leagues above normal spirits and people, obviously, which is why he was able to do something that altered someone's soul directly. It requires an incredible amount of power and spiritual precision to be able to pull off something like that. So those are the added perks of her Rocky awakening, but what's her actual ability? Her ability is simply called the third eye, and her ability is more of a protective and defensive ability more than offensive. Her ability allows her to deflect or reflect malevolous or envious spiritual energies, much like real world's evil eye talismans. So she can essentially negate attacks on her and other people if they're spiritually related. Not only that, but she can use talismans, amulets, and other sorts of rituals, and she can essentially buff or debuff items, things, people, things like that. While she can have offensive tactics, it's easier to think of her as like a support type in an RPG, you know? But yeah, that's essentially it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, again, leave a sub. We're almost at 400. Well, not almost, but we're almost to getting to almost being at 400. And I really do enjoy talking about the power system that I'm making and just world building as I go. And I got more stuff that I'm cooking up that's on the way, so hopefully you guys enjoy those as well. Thank you for all the support recently. I really, really do appreciate it. It makes me happy, it keeps me going. And yeah, hopefully I see you guys soon. See ya.